Hello and welcome. In this Qucamba Reports tutorial, you will learn how to use the simple list report wizard to generate a basic list report for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. The report which I want to create with you today will display several cells relevant fields from the customer table. In order to start the wizard for this simple list, I select Simple in the Create tab. On the first wizard page, I can choose the basic settings I want for the report. First, I use the report template to define which format I want to use. In this case, I've decided on an A4 vertical format. For the tablix template, I select the QR table template. And as table output, the Table for Lists Reports template. Every report in NAV has a unique ID. I can select this ID from the field ID. Qucamba Reports has in the meantime identified all available object numbers and provided them in this selection. Furthermore, every report has a distinct name that is normally written in English. As our report is to include customer data, I've decided on the name Customer Cells. Correspondingly, in local name, I'll use the German translation of the English name Debitorverkäufe. With Next, I can proceed to the following wizard page. On this page, you can find all of the NAV tables displayed and categorized. I want to output data from the customer table. The customer table is one of the so-called master tables. By clicking on the arrow symbol, I can expand the master table, and within this category is listed the customer table. If I want to use this table for my report, all I need to do is select it and click on the Add button. As you can see, the table can now be seen in the right pane, which means it has now been applied to the report. If I've made a mistake and don't want this table, I can remove it with the Delete button. Another possibility to select tables is by employing the full text search. In this case, I could, for example, filter out the table Customer, and then only the remaining categories in which the name Customer can be found, such as in master tables, supplemental tables, and other tables will be displayed. In this way, as before, I can now select the customer table and apply it to my report. Another possibility to find tables is by using the German caption. I could now, for example, enter Debitoren, the German translation of customer, and in turn, in the area master tables, the table with debitor would be left remaining because, of course, the search query is done in the column user caption as well. A third possibility to find tables is by means of the table number. If, for example, I know that the customer table is number 18, and I search for this specific table number, then there will be only one displayed in the master tables area, which it corresponds to, the customer table. If I don't want to have the tables listed by category, then I just need to remove the check mark from the Categorize box. This will then display all of the NAV tables in numerical order. The full text search algorithms work in this view as well. Let me do it again with the ID 18. Only customer is displayed. By the way, to apply something from the left pane to the right pane, you can bypass the Add button by just double-clicking on your selection. For my report, I would like the customers to be listed alphabetically and not numerically. You can adjust these settings in this window too. Just click on the Properties button to access the settings. Once the window is open, you click on View and select Sorting and choose Name. Furthermore, I only want to include customers in my report whose cell's local currency is correspondingly higher than 0. I can do this in the table filter in the field cells, LYC. You can see that this field, even as I type, is automatically recommended. I select a filter and enter greater than 0. Now that I've specified the sorting and filter, I click on OK to close the Properties window. And as you can now see, the sorting and filter are displayed in the data element. Click on Next to proceed to the following step. In the next step, we need to choose all of the fields which should appear in the report. Here I select the field number by marking the checkbox. Another way to select a field is by just double-clicking on the line. In addition, I want to include some calculated fields in the report. Here you have the possibility to filter the category to flow fields. This enables you to filter the category so that only fields that are calculated within this table are displayed. The other fields which I would like to include are balance local currency, sales local currency, and the profit local currency. After selecting these fields, I could show all of the fields again for this table. Another possibility lies in searching for a field. Let's now suppose that I wish to include the salesperson. When I do this search for it, you can see that with each additional letter I enter, the selection in the display is reduced until only salesperson code is left remaining. Since I not only want to include the salesperson code, but the respective name too, see here, the field salesperson code shows a relationship to another table. This is indicated by means of the little triangle you can see here. When I click to open it up, I can see that there is a relationship on the salesperson purchaser table, and when I click again on this triangle, a list of fields for this table is displayed. With that, I am now able to select the name field. This means that I can join additional information from another table for my report, which can later be included in the layout. I have completed my selection of the fields and click on Next to proceed to the following wizard step. In this step, all of the available fields for the output are displayed. From the list of selected fields, Qucamba Reports has automatically listed those which are deemed most appropriate for the table output later in the report. As I have already selected the salesperson name here, I naturally don't want to include the salesperson code anymore. Therefore, I now select the salesperson code and remove it from the list by clicking on the Delete button. So I now have all of the output data I later want to include in the report, and I can proceed to the following wizard page by clicking on Next. On the next page, you can see the fields Balance, Sales, and Profit. These are the fields which can be summarized. These are then displayed in the right pane and are the fields which have been deemed most appropriate for summation. With Next, I proceed to the following wizard step. And with that, we're done. At this point, I still have the possibility to check and as needed change the ID and the name of the report, as well as to add an abbreviation for the versions list, a so-called project prefix. For my report, I want to leave everything as it is and end the wizard by clicking on the Finish button. Qucamba Reports now generates the report and imports it to the NAV database. Afterwards, the preview window is opened. How to work with and use the preview is discussed in another tutorial. The generated report is immediately available for use in the Dynamics NAV. I can switch over to the C side, where under the project ID 50,000, we see and can directly start our report Customer Cells. And this is what it looks like. We now have a standard styled guide conform NAV report with a default heading, which we selected on the first page from the report templates. We have a default tabular presentation of the data with alternating background colors to better display it. And finally, the sum totals below. We only find customers that also have a balance as we previously selected in the filter, and to that the customers are sorted alphabetically. This is the end of our tutorial on using the wizard to create a simple list report for Microsoft Dynamics NAV. I hope you found it helpful. Please don't forget to check out our other videos. Thanks for watching.